What did it feel like to be invited to an event? Maybe you felt warm. You were made important. Someone wanted you to be there. You felt desired, respected, appreciated, loved, included, noticed, etc. Remember that feeling. Remember the happiness that you felt. Even if you had to decline the offer. Even if you didn't go. You still felt happy in the moment when you got the offer. So what if you were the person? What if you could become the person who would invite someone? What if you could influence someone in that way? To have them feel appreciated, loved, noticed, all of the above. You can do that. Before that, I want to talk about the fact that we don't initiate. Or rather, we don't initiate enough. Often we don't want to initiate because it feels like we're giving up our power in a way. We make ourselves out to be inferior. You think that they were begging for someone to be with us in a way? I felt this when I asked a friend to hang out. Because at the moment I was always thinking about how I was always asking. I didn't really recount the times that he also asked. But that's beside the point. I felt like there was, at the time I felt like there was a sort of power dynamic going on. It's like I wanted to see them more than they wanted to see me. And this can be viewed objectively as that. But I like to think that the other person doesn't initiate because he wasn't taught how to. And maybe I'm coping, but I'd like to see the best in people. Unless proven otherwise. At the very least, you don't want to be lonely. The thing is, loneliness kills. Most successful suicides are for men. I believe one cause of this is loneliness. Men are far worse at maintaining friendships than women. That's something. And women do commit more suicides, or attempt more suicides. That's true. But men succeed way more. That should tell you something. When you feel like there's a power dynamic, it's hard to sidestep your ego. It's hard to continually put your balls on the chopping block. It hurts. And loneliness hurts more. Loneliness is a deeper kind of hurt. One that penetrates deep into your soul. It doesn't just sting like a rejection. Like you get rejected, okay, it stings, and then maybe the pain lingers like 1 or 2 days, and then it's gone. But with loneliness, there's a gap with wind now blowing through it. Your ego will regenerate. I mean, basically just sleep and then wake up tomorrow and then, it's back up once more. It'll be there. You, yourself, who you are, your identity, will not so easily. On to initiating. How does one initiate? Well, first you gotta be cool. You gotta have cool events, right? People want to come. If you want to initiate and invite someone, they need to have a reason to come. It's like you're trying to essentially convince them that you are having fun and you would like them to also have fun. So, have cool events. Being eventful means that you get to invite other people to enjoy themselves. It makes the invitation much more appealing if the other person doesn't know you well or is shyer to one-on-one conversations. For the most part, with strangers, you don't want to, or I shouldn't say you don't want to. It's more likely, the chances of success are more likely if you invite them to something cool. Depending on the person, of course. And you may say, there's a problem. I don't have cool events. Okay. Let's solve the problem then. Have cool events. Sounds simple. And it is. But it's hard in practice. Join clubs. Attend communities. Join groups. These will all have events that you can invite other people to. On the other hand, you can host cool events. You can do it. You can plan out events with people that you want. For this, I guess when you are planning an event, you don't really want to ask someone who you know is on like the fence. You want to ask someone who you know would come if they wanted to, or if they had the chance to, an opportunity to, like if they didn't have any conflicts. Ask them their opinion on it, and then decide if it's cool or not. Okay? You're gonna make the plan, schedule the activities, what day it's gonna be, which week, which month. And once you're done planning, ask people. If they're free, they'll come, and if they aren't, they won't. I mean, those who don't come will still appreciate your gesture and your invitation, and it makes them more likely to accept your invitation the next time. Because if you can remember a time when you were rejected someone's request to hang out or going to an event, you felt guilty. You know, you felt like you let them down. Like, I'm sorry, I can't go. You felt some guilt, sadness, maybe even envy that you couldn't go. And what most likely ended up happening was when they asked again, you felt either even more guilty, or you went. These negative emotions drove you to accept. And that's what you're going to give, that's what they're going to feel if they refuse. They'll either come, and that'll be a win, or they will not come, and they'll feel in a way indebted to you, and in the future they'll come. So it's also a win. It's a win-win scenario. So what do you do if you don't actually have cool events? Like if you act like absolutely have nothing cool going on? Become a cool person then. If you don't have cool things going on, become a cool person. And I feel like this is where you need to be sociable. And to do this, you truly need to be able to listen to people. You don't need to think about cool replies. Just listen. And most importantly, empathize with the person. Connect with them. And feel what they are feeling. This will make that person appreciate you so much more. And the tip is to repeat what they say back to them. For example, if they say, I feel lonely, literally repeat it back to them. But you want to play some pronouns like, you feel lonely. And it'll feel awkward, or it'll feel weird to you, but not to them. Put this into practice and try it out. You need to take action, or well, you won't improve. After you have this down, and you may have already done this, and I certainly was about to say it in the previous example. You don't just repeat exactly what they said. Instead, you can summarize what they said in a different manner. This is, I think, way more effective because it shows that you're thinking about what they said and then reformulating what they said into a new phrase of which communicates the same ideas. That requires thinking. And it tells them that you are listening to them. And another is to ask further questions. To dive in deep. Ask them why. And keep asking them why. And you'll bury so deep that the conversation will automatically be intimate. And you'll connect. So, if they say, I feel lonely, you can say, you feel lonely? Why do you feel lonely? And they say, because I don't have people to talk to. Okay, you don't have people to talk to, and therefore you feel lonely. That's completely understandable. Could you tell me why? In that sentence, I added another, which is to validate the person. By validating people, they will feel closer to you, and they will feel that you are willing to understand them. You care for them. And that goes a long way. And with practice and mindfulness, you can easily incorporate these into your daily conversations. But you should take note that not everyone is willing to have deep conversations. So you want to keep in mind who it is you're talking to, their mood, the setting, such as if you're in public, if you're in a private space, etc. And sometimes if you ask a why question and they refuse to elaborate, it's best to not ask them again. Because you don't know people's limits. And sure, you can ask them, so let's say you ask them why, so like, for example, they say, I feel lonely. You ask them, you feel lonely, okay. Why do you feel lonely? And then they say, because I just feel lonely. And then you can reply with, can you tell me why? And then at that point, you can either continue to keep digging, or you can exit. And it depends on the person. If they are more responsive, and if you feel like they want you to keep digging, sort of like the example I just used, like if it's sort of just repeating the same phrase, like, because I feel lonely. Because I feel lonely. Why? Because I feel lonely. That's usually a sign of... I can't say that. Because it really is dependent on how they say it. There's sharp, fast connotation, like because I feel lonely. Sort of says that I don't want to talk about this anymore. If it's more unsure, slowish, like slower in some parts, like because I feel lonely, it's usually a sign that there's more to it. So, how cool would it be to create a friend circle? Very cool, in my professional opinion. And you do that by initiating. Invite people. Bond. And create the friend circle that you want. And it all starts with initiation. I mean, it felt good when a friend invited you to join a friend circle, if you had that experience. So why don't you be that friend who extends his arm to another? Why don't you make a friend circle? Invite someone who feels lonely and could use some help. Why don't you be that person?